Full disclosure, for Home Slice, Mr. Albedo, I have been playing him since he came out at Constellation 0, okay? Full Constellation 0 this whole time, didn't redeem any of his constellations, even though I had constellations for him. Reason is I didn't want to keep going on him unless I knew I loved him and I wanted him, right? I did love him through the trial, but there was no guarantee that I would continue to do so after I leveled him up. So I got him to 80, all right? And I actually think I might be able to do floor 12 with him, all right? I don't know if I'll be able to 9-star it, but I'm pretty confident I can get it working. So let me go ahead and showcase the team comp that I currently have with him. This is a team comp that I currently have that I'm running in Abyss. I don't know that it's the best, but I will say, hands down, Albedo can fit into any team comp. And here's why. We'll showcase it. We will showcase it. So his biggest strengths is he's a damage enabler, right? He enables opportunities, right? So what does that mean? That means I can toss this down. That was 6k, right? I don't even have good stuff on him. His E comes up every 2 seconds, I believe. No, 4 seconds. Every 4 seconds, right? And then you ult. His ult is really low cooldown as well, and is low energy. Ah, shit, he died. So let me heal him real quick. Sorry. But yeah, pay attention to the geo damage here. So whenever I smack something, it procs the damage. You see that at 1.8 without, and that's 1.9. So I generally get anywhere from 1.8 to 4k damage when my E is up. Every 2 seconds, when you damage an enemy in any way, the E will proc a flower to blossom and hurt the enemy. Kane says, I think the best thing about Albedo is that the math guys determine a 3-star sword is BIS for him. Speaking of which, I will be testing that. I do not like believing what people say just because people say it. To me, that's complete bullshit. Oh, by the way, something to keep in mind, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot place your E on top of a mob. If you do, it'll instantly break. As you saw, crystallization happened, but my E's gone. Now if I place it here, it stays and it lives. But if you put it inside of an object, it'll instantly break. Much like how it works on Zhongli. Hopefully that makes sense. For Albedo, honestly, the only constellations you really should be looking at for him is his C1, his C2, and his final constellation. The rest are fine, but they don't impact the field the way 1, 2, and 6 do, right? So the third one and the fifth one, all they do is add extra levels, right? Everybody has a constellation like that. You guys understand how that works. And the fourth one, like, this might be cool with Zhao. I don't know yet, right? Zhao's the only one who probably would benefit heavily from Constellation 4. Basically, you get 30% more damage for plunge attacks that are within the vicinity of your E. They don't have to jump off your E, they just have to be plunging. Point being, the constellations that truly matter, based off of what I can see, are 1, 2, and 6. Constellation 1 gives you 1.2 energy back when you use Solar Isotoma. And for number 2, it's a little confusing, but long story short, basically what it's supposed to do, and we'll test it once we get it, is that when you use your E, and whenever the trigger happens, you get a stack called Fatal Reckoning. All right, Fatal Reckoning is a new term that doesn't exist outside of this constellation. Okay, and Fatal Reckoning stacks and stays there for 30 seconds. All right, each stack stays there for 30 seconds, offset. All right, And what it does is increases damage by 30% of Albedo's defense. All right, and it can stack up to 4 times. Now, know that the Fatal Reckoning does nothing, okay, by itself. When you ult, this consumes Fatal Reckoning, okay? So what that means is, imagine Fatal Reckoning like a token that just sits on Albedo and does nothing until you ult. The moment you ult, you will get, you'll consume all the stacks, and it'll increase the damage dealt by the ult per the stacks of Fatal Blossoms that you have. So each stack gives you 30% of Albedo's defense, okay? So here's the thing. I have C6. There's no way I'm not going to use defense percent on him for the timepiece, because this turns my ult that is attack percent based into caring more about defense. I hope that makes sense, because you get a total max of 120% of Albedo's defense added on as pure damage onto the ult, right? 120% of Albedo's defense. That's pretty good. So if I increase his defense with a defense percent timepiece, we should be golden. And for people who said that he's good with Zhongli, true, because Zhongli's Zhongli treats Albedo's E like another construct, and obviously Zhongli, his Zhonger Donger pulses, and when it pulses, it also deals damage, which triggers Albedo's E to also do passive damage, and will cause more crystallizations. So I say that's fine and dandy, but the reason why I personally believe that Zhongli and Albedo aren't necessarily a match made in heaven is because, like I said, he can fit into any comp. So Riptide will do exactly the same thing as Zhongli's Dong. As you can see, when Riptide fires, so does the E passive, right? And it also generates a lot of crystals, okay? So as you can see, it's gonna keep going. I don't have to do shit, and I'm getting shields. I can stand here and not get hurt, right? It's good poo-poo. It's good poo-poo. Yeah? All right. So this is why I don't think Zhongli is, quote, like, it's not the best match for Albedo, in the sense that you should only pair Albedo with Zhongli. You can pair Albedo with Zhongli. It is not a necessity. All right, and I'll prove it again using Oz instead of Riptide. All right, but the point here is that if you have two characters that can provide passive damage like Albedo and Child, then you have a main DPS out, you can constantly cause passive damage. Okay, so we go and do all. Let's melt this down. Okay, so we're just gonna sit pretty, right? As you can see, as Oz smacks him, so does the E, right? And as you can see, Oz's damage is actually quite comparable to, and my officials is support official, but Oz's damage was pretty much the same as my E, right? The difference and benefit is my E can come out every 4 seconds while lasting way longer than 4 seconds. So before the cooldown, or before this disappears, I can throw down another E over and over again. Rarely does this ever break, because rarely does any mob specifically attack the ground, right? Only stomping type attacks or AoE attacks that also affect the ground will actually break this E. All right. Okay, so we're going to redeem this. But yeah, I mean, this is extremely transparent on what it's going to do, right? You're just going to get more energy from using Solar Isotoma. So when this procs, I get more energy. That's all, right? I just get more energy when I slap them. That's all there is to it. So every time there's a passive, I get more energy. I already got my ult up. And then when I spam the ult, right? His ult is not that great. I mean, 14k is okay, right? But it's not amazing. It's okay damage. But considering that his ult comes up as much as Benny's ult comes up, which is all the time, I would say it's not bad. Okay, let's go over to the next constellation, because that was it. You just get more energy recharge whenever one of your E procs occur. All right, going for part 2. Now this is the one. So my understanding of this is every time the E procs, I'm going to get essentially a Fatal Blossom counter, and I need 4 in order to make my ult big PP damage. Okay, smack him, that's 1. Smack him, that's 2. Smack him, that's 3. Okay, smack him, that's 4. Oh, there's a little flower next to me. That's cool. All right. Well, I didn't have to count. I'll just keep on doing this until I get all my energy back. All right. Now I ult. 13k. And also the little blossoms that come out, right? But are you guys seeing this? I'm getting flowers even though I'm using other people. You see this? I'm getting those Fatal Blossom triggers even though I'm on Bennett and not on Albedo. So the constellations, these are really obvious ones. These are the level up ones. They're self-explanatory, right? But I'll still show off the difference in damage just in case people feel like we need to take a look at them and see how much difference it is from a C3 to a C0. Also, place your E's down as much as possible, because when his E comes down, you still do damage, and that's damage you're putting on the table if you're not constantly putting his E down. So yeah, didn't do a lot for him to get 3 levels, and that has a lot to do with the fact that his defense is garbage right now. Again, I don't have the best artifacts for him. What I would have preferred is if I could get a watch that is defense percent. Okay, next constellation is plunging attack. Actually, let me showcase the plunging attack prior. The plunging isn't that great. I'll be straight up with you right now. The current plunging is not great. Ah, shit. Okay, that was only 1,000 damage. Okay, so he only did 1,000 with his plunging. Let's find out what we do with the next constellation. Activate. Okay. Ha! Pepe hands. Pepe hands. Alright, that did like nothing. We're gonna go back over and heal. We're gonna go on to the next constellation. But yeah, constellation 4, not good. Next, let's see how much more we can do with ult with 3 extra levels. All right, so we tested the plunging as garbage. We tested the level 3 enhancement on our E. It wasn't great because my defense isn't great, so the extra levels didn't do much. But that's not Albedo's fault, and that's not the constellation's fault. That's me having Papega defense. I should be running a defense timepiece like I mentioned before. But yeah, so we're now gonna test out his ult. Place this back down. All right, ult. So ult. That was not that much better. That also has to do with my Papega attack. But I do have a Geo bonus cup So yeah, the extra three levels, not great because my base isn't great. The constellation that I think matters outside of 1 and 2, because 1 and 2 we saw differences. The 3-level difference, not great because my arts aren't great, so therefore his base stats don't have a lot to go off of. And then also the plunge attack, we tried it, it's garbo, it's not great. It might be better if I showcased it with D-Luke though, since, you know, whoever has a better base to work off of for their plunge attack would showcase this constellation off better. Okay, anyways, it's still hard in real combat to go on the elevator because as you saw, that guardian, all he had to do while I was going up slowly was walk into me and then the elevator disappeared, right? So in that sense, it's not good. It would be good if you had a character like Zhao, but Zhao's not out. We'll know when, we don't ever know when he's coming out. Anyways, now we're gonna move on to Constellation 6 finally. This is where it's cool, I think. Okay, this is where it's cool, I think. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and activate this. Basically what happens here is, by the way, with any passive damage you have out on the field, whether it's Riptide, Oz, Genre Dongers, whatever is dealing damage to the opponent, and every 2 seconds when the flowers proc and do AoE geo damage, you're going to get a crystallization effect and you're going to get a shield. And since there's always so many shards on the field, your shield should practically be up all of the time, all right? Whether you're dealing with many enemies or just one. So yeah, just take note that C6 basically means that you're constantly giving your party 17% damage. Let's go test it out, right? So in that sense, I was just surprised that his Con 2 had that ability. So as you can see, I'm constantly keeping up my shield, aka I'm constantly doing 17% more damage, which is cool. Which is really hot. 22k with Benny, not bad, not bad. You know, melt proc, awesome. Anyways, but yeah, so as you saw with Albedo, you're constantly keeping crystallizations up with your other members, and that means you're constantly keeping up that 17% proc for damage. But yeah, hopefully this helped with showcasing our friend Albedo here from C0 to C6.